10 seconds. That was all it took for Reese Corian, a single father cleaning floors at midnight, to save the most powerful woman in the city and destroy the quiet life he built for his daughter. One scream in a parking garage, 4 masked men, and a past he swore he buried forever. But when Clarion Shaw showed up at his door the next morning in an Aston Martin offering him everything he never wanted, Reese learned that some ghosts never stay buried. Some just wait for the right moment to rise. I killed a man once with my bare hands, and the worst part wasn't watching him die. It was realizing how easy it was. Reese Corian whispered those words every night before sleep, a confession to the darkness, a reminder of why he could never go back. But tonight, at 11:47 on a Tuesday in March, in a parking garage that smelled like oil and regret, that man was about to crawl out of his grave. His mop squeaked against level B3 of Shaw Industries Tower. The forgotten level. The level where security cameras had blind spots and fluorescent lights flickered like dying stars. Reese had mapped every shadow here, every exit, every place a man could disappear if he needed to. 3 years of disappearing. 3 years of being nobody. The mop bucket rattled. His hands, scarred from a life he'd left behind, gripped the wooden handle. In 6 hours he'd walk through his apartment door. Wake Laura. Make her laugh. Braid her hair the way Sarah used to back when Sarah's hands still worked before the cancer turned them into claws. Simple. Safe. Invisible. Then the scream came. Not a movie scream. Real. The sound a human throat makes when it knows death is in the room. Reese froze. Every nerve in his body fired at once. His heart, trained for years to stay slow, suddenly hammered against his ribs like it wanted out. Walk away. The voice in his head was calm, rational. You have a daughter. She's 7 years old. She still thinks you hung the moon. Walk away. He turned toward the exit. Another scream tore through the concrete pillars. Please, somebody help me. A woman's voice, young, terrified, alone. Reese closed his eyes. Behind his eyelids, Laura's face appeared. Gap-toothed smile. Purple ribbons in her hair. Eyes that looked at him like he was a hero. I'm nobody now, he whispered to the empty garage. I'm just a janitor. I'm nobody. But his feet were already moving. He left the mop, moved between the concrete pillars like smoke. His breathing slowed. His vision sharpened. Somewhere in his mind, a door he'd welded shut 3 years ago began to creak open, and the man he used to be stepped through the gap. Not yet, he told that man. Not yet. But that man was already smiling. He heard them before he saw them. 4 voices. Male. Calm. Professional. Not amateurs. Not street kids looking for a purse. These were operators. The briefcase, Ms. Shaw. Last chance. I told you I don't have it with me. It's in my office. We've been in your office. It's not there. Then I don't know what you want from me. We want you to stop lying. Reese crept to the edge of a support pillar and looked. 4 men in tactical gear surrounded a woman pressed against a black Mercedes. Even terrified, even with a gun pointed at her chest, she stood straight. Clarion Shaw. He'd seen her twice in 3 years. Once in the lobby during his first week, when she'd smiled at him like he was a person. Once in an elevator, when she'd held the door and said thank you. Both times he'd looked at the floor and said nothing. Invisible men don't make eye contact with queens. You have 10 seconds, the lead man said. Tall, military posture, expensive watch. Then we stop asking nicely. I'm telling you the truth. 10, 9, 8. The man's hand moved toward her throat. Reese didn't think. Thinking was for people who had choices. Thinking was for people who weren't already moving. 10 seconds. That's how long it took to put 4 trained operators on the ground. The first man never heard him coming. Reese's elbow caught him in the temple with the full rotation of his hips behind it. The man's eyes rolled back. He dropped like gravity forgot about him halfway down. The second man turned. Fast. Reached for his weapon. But Reese was already inside his guard, grabbing his wrist, twisting, feeling the radius bone crack like a dry branch. The gun clattered. Reese's knee found his liver. The man folded around the pain. "Contact! We have contact!" The third man raised his pistol. Reese was already moving. Time didn't slow down like in the movies. It just became clear. Every movement had a purpose. Every strike had a target. Palm strike to the nose. Cartilage crunched. Blood sprayed. The man staggered. Reese swept his legs. The back of his head bounced off concrete with a wet thud that echoed through the garage. The leader finally got his weapon up. "Don't move, or I'll—" Reese closed the distance before the sentence finished. He redirected the barrel toward the ceiling. The shot went off like a thunderclap. Reese's forehead crashed into the bridge of the man's nose. Then his knee found the groin. Then his elbow found the jaw. The leader collapsed. Silence. Except for the ringing in Reese's ears and the sound of four men groaning on oil-stained concrete. Clarion Shaw stood frozen against her Mercedes, hands raised, eyes wide, staring at him like he'd just materialized out of thin air. They looked at each other. Reese saw his reflection in her eyes. Blood on his janitor uniform. Breathing hard but controlled. Fists still clenched. The monster he'd buried, standing in fluorescent light. "Are you hurt?" His voice came out wrong. Too calm. The voice he'd used in another life when pulling wounded men out of burning vehicles and asking if they could walk. She shook her head. Tried to speak. Couldn't. "Can you stand?" She nodded. "Do you have your phone?" Another nod. Sirens. Distant but getting closer. Someone upstairs must have heard the gunshot. "I was never here," Reese said. He turned to leave. "Wait." He stopped. Didn't turn around. "Who are you?" "Nobody." "Nobody doesn't move like that." The sirens got louder. "You need to call security. Tell them you fought them off with mace. You keep mace in your purse. You sprayed the first man, fought the others. Make it believable." "Why?" "Because I have a daughter who needs her father to stay invisible." "What's your name?" "Somebody who's already gone." He walked into the shadows between the pillars. Behind him, he heard her voice, shaking but strong. "Thank you." He didn't answer. Ghosts don't talk. By the time security flooded level B3 with flashlights and questions, Reese was 4 levels up, mopping the executive floor like nothing happened. His hands shook. The mop handle rattled against the bucket. He gripped it tighter. A security guard passed him in the hallway. "Hey, did you hear something downstairs?" Reese looked up, made his face blank, made his voice slow. "Nah, man, just mopping. Headphones in. You know how it is." The guard nodded and kept walking. Reese went back to mopping. In the reflection of the polished floor, he saw blood on his knuckles. He dunked the mop in the bucket. The water turned pink. "I'm nobody," he whispered. "I'm nobody now." But the ghost was awake, and ghosts don't go back to sleep easy. At 6 in the morning, Reese walked through his apartment door. 1 bedroom, peeling wallpaper, furniture from thrift stores and yard sales, but clean, always clean, and full of the only thing that mattered. Laura was already awake, sitting at their tiny kitchen table in her purple pajamas coloring. "Daddy?" She ran to him. He caught her, lifted her, buried his face in her hair. She smelled like strawberry shampoo and dreams. For a moment the world was right again. "You're home early," she said. "Boss let me finish early. Thought I'd surprise my favorite girl." "I'm your only girl. That's what makes you my favorite." She giggled and wiggled down. "Can we have pancakes, the special ones? With chocolate chips. And whipped cream. That's basically dessert for breakfast. Mama used to say breakfast is the most important meal, so it should be the most delicious too." Reese's chest tightened. Sarah. Even 2 years gone, she was still teaching their daughter how to live. Mama was a very wise woman. "The wisest," Laura said seriously. Then she smiled. "After you, Daddy." He made pancakes, watched her drown them in syrup and whipped cream. Listened to her talk about school, about her friend Emma, about the caterpillar they found on the playground that was going to be a butterfly. Miss Rodriguez says change is natural, Laura said, mouthful of pancake. She says everything changes, but that doesn't mean it stops being beautiful. Miss Rodriguez is right. Do you think Mama changed into something beautiful too? The question hit him like a fist to the chest. He set down his coffee. I think Mama was always beautiful. And now she's somewhere even more beautiful, watching you grow up, being proud of the amazing person you're becoming. Laura nodded, took another bite. Then she looked at him with those eyes, Sarah's eyes that saw through everything. Daddy, are you okay? Your hands are shaking. He looked down. She was right. He pulled his hands into his lap. Just tired, baby girl. Long night. Do you want to talk about it? Mama used to say, talking about hard things makes them lighter. 7 years old and already wiser than he'd ever be. Maybe later. Right now I just want to be here with you. Okay, but Daddy? Yeah. I love you even when you're tired. Even when you're sad. Even when you think you have to hide things to protect me. He stared at her. She went back to eating like she hadn't just reached into his chest and grabbed his heart. After breakfast, he braided her hair. Purple ribbons because purple was power. Walked her to school. At the gate she turned and hugged his waist. Love you, Daddy. Love you more than the whole sky, Laura. That's impossible. The sky is infinite. Then I love you infinity plus 1. She laughed and ran toward her classroom. He watched until she disappeared inside. Then he turned to walk home and saw the black SUV. It was parked across the street. Tinted windows. Engine running. A man in the driver's seat watching the school. Reese's blood went cold. He started walking toward the SUV. The moment he moved, it pulled away. Fast. Gone. Maybe nothing. Maybe paranoia. But Reese knew better. Ghosts always came back to haunt you. He walked home fast. Every shadow looked wrong. Every parked car a threat. His apartment building was old. 5 stories. Brick. The kind of place where neighbors minded their business and locks were suggestions. He climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor. Mrs. Chen was in the hallway taking out her trash. 78 years old. Widow. Had lived in 3B for 40 years. She knew everything that happened in this building. Morning, Reese. Morning, Mrs. Chen. You look terrible. Bad night. Long night. She studied him with eyes that had seen too much life to be fooled by simple lies. There was a woman here this morning, 7 a.m., fancy suit, black car. She knocked on your door for 5 minutes. Reese's stomach dropped. What did you tell her? I told her you work nights, sleep days, and that if she wanted to talk to you, she should come back at a reasonable hour. Mrs. Chen tilted her head. Should I have told her something different? No, thank you. She leave a card under your door. I saw it. Very fancy. I appreciate you looking out for me. That's what neighbors do. She paused. Reese, that woman. She's not trouble, is she? I don't know yet. But you think she might be? He didn't answer. Mrs. Chen sighed. Your Sarah, God rest her, she told me once that you had a complicated past, that you'd done things you weren't proud of, but she also said you were the best man she'd ever known because you chose to be better. She reached out and patted his arm. Whatever's happening, remember that. You chose better once. You can choose it again. What if better isn't enough? Then you choose it anyway. That's what makes you good. She shuffled back into her apartment. The door closed with a soft click. Reese stood in the hallway for a moment. Then he opened his door. The business card was on the floor. Clarion Shaw, CEO Shaw Industries. Personal number handwritten on the back. He picked it up, closed the door, locked it, put the chain on. His apartment looked different now, smaller, more exposed. The windows suddenly seemed like vulnerabilities. The door, like paper. He needed sleep. 3 hours before Laura got out of school. 3 hours to close his eyes and pretend the world wasn't collapsing. He lay on his bed, stared at the ceiling, saw the parking garage, saw the 4 men, saw how easy it had been to hurt them. "Sarah," he whispered to the empty room. "What do I do?" In his mind, he heard her voice, clear as day. "You survive. For Lara. Whatever it takes. I promised you I'd never be that person again. I never asked you to promise that. I asked you to be the person Lara needs. Sometimes that person is gentle. Sometimes that person fights. I'm scared." "Good. Scared means you're still human. Scared means you still have something to lose. Sleep wouldn't come." He lay there for 2 hours, his mind racing until his phone rang. Unknown number. He stared at it, let it ring 4 times, then answered. "Mr. Corian." A woman's voice, professional, calm, not Clarion Shaw. "Who is this?" "My name is Victoria Chen. I'm Ms. Shaw's executive assistant. She asked me to call you." "Tell her I'm not interested." "Mr. Corian, please don't hang up. Ms. Shaw wants you to know that the police found your DNA at the scene. They're running it through databases now. If you have any record, any military service, anything in the system, they'll find you within 72 hours. His hand tightened on the phone. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because Ms. Shaw doesn't want you found. She's had the samples flagged as contaminated. They'll be thrown out. But Mr. Corian, she can't do that forever. And there are other people looking for you. People who don't need databases." "What people?" "The kind who don't like loose ends. Please, meet with her. 1 conversation. That's all she asks." "Where?" "She'll come to you. When is convenient?" Reese looked at the clock. "Noon. I pick up my daughter at 3. She can come at 1. She has 30 minutes. "Thank you, Mr. Corian. She'll be there at 1 o'clock exactly." The line went dead. Reese sat on the edge of his bed, holding his phone, feeling the walls closing in. At 12:45, he showered, put on clean clothes, made coffee, sat at his kitchen table, and waited. At 12:58, Mrs. Chen knocked on his door. "Reese, that woman is back. The fancy one. She has a man with her. Big man, scary man." "It's okay, Mrs. Chen. I'm expecting her." "You sure?" "I'm sure." "I'll be in my apartment. You holler if you need anything. I may be old, but I can still dial 911. "Thank you." At exactly 1 o'clock, someone knocked. Reese opened the door. Clarion Shaw stood in his hallway wearing a designer suit that probably cost more than his car. Behind her, a bodyguard scanned the corridor like he expected assassins to rappel from the ceiling. In daylight, she looked younger than he'd thought, maybe 35. Sharp cheekbones, dark hair pulled back, eyes that missed nothing. "Mr. Corian, you've got 30 minutes. "May I come in?" He stepped aside. She entered, looked around, took in the second-hand couch, the discount coffee maker, Lara's drawings taped to every wall. She walked to one drawing. A stick figure man holding hands with a smaller stick figure girl. Hearts everywhere. The word Daddy written in crooked letters at the top. "Your daughter," she said quietly. "My daughter." "How old?" 7. "She's talented." "She's everything." Clarion turned to face him. The bodyguard stayed in the doorway. "Thank you for seeing me." "You didn't give me much choice?" "You always have a choice, Mr. Corian. That's what I came to talk about." "You've got 29 minutes. She almost smiled. Almost. "Last night you saved my life. 4 trained operators, 10 seconds. I've replayed the footage 30 times. I've shown it to military consultants. They all say the same thing. That's not self-defense training. That's not a hobbyist. That's someone who's done it before. Someone who's killed before." Reese said nothing. "You were military, weren't you? Special operations. Maybe Marine Raiders. Maybe something darker. 28 minutes. After that, you taught Krav Maga in Philadelphia. You were good. Very good. Then 3 years ago, your wife got sick. Cancer. You quit everything, moved here, became invisible. Why? Because I made her a promise. What promise? That I'd keep our daughter safe, that I'd give her a normal life, that I'd never let the things I'd done touch her. Clarion walked to his couch, sat down, right on the floral cushion with the coffee stain, like she belonged there. Tell me about Sarah. No. Please. You don't have the right to ask about my wife. You're right, I don't. But I need you to understand something. I'm not here to threaten you. I'm not here to expose you. I'm here because last night you did something extraordinary, and now we're both in danger. You mean I'm in danger? No, I mean we. Those men weren't random. They were professionals, hired by someone who wants something from me, or wants me gone. And now they know someone interfered, someone capable. They'll find you, Mr. Corian. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they will find you. Then I'll move, change my name, disappear again. With a 7-year-old. How long before she asks why? Before she's the one looking over her shoulder at school? Before she grows up afraid because her father is running from ghosts? The words hit home. Reese's jaw clenched. What do you want from me? I want to hire you. No. Head of Personal Security, $200,000 a year, full benefits. Private school tuition for Laura at Preston Academy. Housing in a secure building with 24-hour security. Protection for both of you. I said no. Why? Because I'm not that person anymore. You were that person last night. Last night was a mistake. Last night you saved my life. And now I want to forget it happened. Clarion leaned forward. Her voice dropped. Mr. Corian, Reese. May I call you Reese? He didn't answer. My father built Shaw Industries from nothing. He taught me that power isn't about money or control. It's about responsibility. The responsibility to protect the people who depend on you. You understand that. That's why you work a minimum wage job you're overqualified for. That's why you live in this apartment when you could be making 6 figures as a security consultant. Because you're protecting Laura from your past. Don't talk about my daughter. I'm trying to help her. By dragging her into your war. By keeping her out of someone else's. Reese, those men will find you. And when they do, they won't knock politely. They'll come at 3 in the morning. They'll come when Laura's asleep in the next room. Is that what you want? Of course not. Then let me help you. I don't need your help. Yes, you do. And I need yours. That makes us even. Silence filled the apartment. Reese looked at Laura's drawings on the wall. Looked at the photo of Sarah on the shelf. Looked at this woman who'd walked into his life with danger in her wake. Tell me about Sarah, Clarion said again. Softer this time. Why? Because I want to understand who you're protecting, who you're willing to sacrifice everything for. Reese closed his eyes, took a breath. She was a 3rd-grade teacher. She loved books and terrible puns and making kids believe they were smarter than they thought they were. She saw me at my worst, knew the things I'd done, the people I'd hurt. And she loved me anyway. Not despite who I was, because of who she believed I could become. She sounds remarkable. She was everything good I never deserved. How did she die? Slowly, pancreatic cancer. Stage 4 by the time they caught it. She had 8 months. We spent them making memories for Laura. Birthday parties, zoo trips, bedtime stories recorded on video so Laura could still hear her voice. His voice cracked. The last thing she said to me was, keep her safe, keep her happy, keep her innocent. I promised I would, and I've kept that promise for 2 years. That's why you disappeared. That's why I became nobody. Clarion stood, walked to him, looked him in the eyes. Sarah sounds like she was a wise woman, but I think she'd tell you something important right now. Keeping Laura safe doesn't mean hiding. It means being smart. And right now the smart thing is to accept help before the people who want me dead decide you're a loose end they need to cut. I don't want your money. Then do it for Laura. Preston Academy is the best school in the state. She'd have opportunities you can't give her. Safety you can't provide alone. At what cost? The cost of trusting me. The cost of letting someone help you for once. Reese stared at her, saw the determination in her eyes, the intelligence, the strength. If I say yes, they'll come eventually. You know that. If you say no, they'll come anyway. At least this way we see them coming. He looked at the business card on his coffee table, looked at Sarah's photo. Whatever it takes, Sarah's voice whispered in his memory. Survive. I need to think about it. You have until tomorrow morning. After that, I'm moving forward with standard security. And you're on your own. She walked to the door. The bodyguard stepped aside. Ms. Shaw. She turned. If I do this, if I say yes, Lara comes first. Always. The moment she's in danger, I'm gone. The moment this job threatens her, I walk away. Are we clear? Crystal? And I don't kill anymore. I don't care what's happening. I don't care who's coming. I will defend. I will protect. But I don't kill. Something flickered across her face. Respect, maybe. I wouldn't want you to. She left. The door clicked shut. Reese stood in his living room, holding a decision that would change everything. He looked at the clock. 2:15. He had 45 minutes before school pickup. He made more coffee, sat at his kitchen table, stared at his phone. At 2:37 the phone rang. Preston Academy, the school's main number. His blood went cold. Hello. Mr. Corian. This is Miss Rodriguez, Lara's teacher. Is she okay? What happened? She's fine. She's right here with me. But Mr. Corian, something happened today that I thought you should know about. What? A man came to the school at lunchtime. He was asking questions about Lara, what time she gets picked up, who picks her up, if she ever walks home alone. Reese's vision tunneled. What man? We don't know. He left before we could get security. But Mr. Corian, he had a photo of you. The world stopped. Did he touch her? Did he talk to her? No. We keep the children supervised during lunch, but he was watching through the fence. Mr. Corian, I've called the police. They're sending someone to take a report, but I wanted you to know immediately. I'm coming right now. Keep her inside. Don't let her near any windows. I'll be there in 10 minutes. We will. Mr. Corian is there. Something we should know. Is Lara in danger? Just keep her inside. I'm coming. He hung up, grabbed his keys, ran for the door. In the hallway, Mrs. Chen's door opened. Reese. What's wrong? Someone was at Lara's school, asking about her. Oh my God! He ran down the stairs, burst onto the street, started running. His phone rang. He answered without looking. Reese. Clarion's voice. How did you? I have alerts on anything involving you or Lara. The school just filed a police report. Suspicious individual. I'm sending my car to the school right now. Don't argue. Get in when it arrives. How did they find her? I don't know. But Reese, listen to me. This is what I was warning you about. They're not waiting. They're already moving. He ran faster. His lungs burned. When you get to the school, my driver will take you both to a secure location. Temporary. Just until we figure out. I want them dead. Everyone involved. I want them dead. Reese. I was nobody. I was invisible. I kept my promise. And they brought this to my daughter's school. I know you're angry. Angry, I'm going to find whoever sent that man. And I'm going to make sure they never threaten my daughter again. That's exactly what they want. They want you to lose control. To make mistakes. He saw the school ahead. Saw a black Mercedes idling at the curb. Saw the bodyguard from earlier standing beside it. I don't care what they want. I care about keeping Lara safe. And if that means becoming the man I buried, then that man is coming back. He reached the school, ran through the gates. The bodyguard followed. Miss Rodriguez met him at the door with Lara. His daughter saw him and burst into tears. Daddy. He grabbed her, held her. She was shaking. It's okay, baby girl. I've got you. You're safe. There was a man, Daddy. Miss Rodriguez said he was looking at me through the fence. I know, but he's gone now, and he's never coming back. He looked at Miss Rodriguez. Thank you for calling me. Of course. Mr. Corian, the police. I'll handle it. He carried Lara to the Mercedes. The bodyguard opened the door. They climbed in. As the car pulled away, Reese held his daughter and felt the last piece of his old promise crumble into dust. He'd tried to be nobody. He'd tried to hide. He'd tried to protect her by disappearing. But you can't hide from ghosts. And now the ghost was awake. He pulled out his phone. Dialed the number on Clarion Shaw's card. She answered on the first ring. Reese? I'm in. Good. But we do this my way. We find everyone involved, and we end this, permanently. Agreed. And Clarion? Yes. When this is over, when Lara's safe, I'm going to ask you why you really want me. Because nobody offers a janitor $200,000 just for saving their life once. She was quiet for a moment. You're right. We'll talk about that. But first, let's keep you and your daughter alive. The line went dead. Reese looked out the window as the Mercedes drove through the city. Lara was asleep in his arms, exhausted from fear. He kissed the top of her head. I'm sorry, baby girl, he whispered. I tried to be nobody for you, but nobody can't protect you from this, so Daddy has to be somebody again, just for a little while. In his pocket, his phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. We know where you live. We know where she goes to school. Stop now, or we'll finish what we started. This is your only warning. Reese stared at the message, then he typed back with steady hands. Come find me. I'll be waiting. He deleted the message, looked at his daughter sleeping, made a promise that would replace every promise that came before. I will keep you safe, whatever it takes, whoever I have to become. The ghost was awake, and this time he wasn't going back to sleep. The Mercedes pulled into an underground garage Reese had never seen before, not Shaw Industries. Somewhere else. Somewhere the city's cameras couldn't reach. Lara stirred in his arms. Daddy, where are we? Somewhere safe, baby girl. The bodyguard opened the door. A woman in a business suit waited beside an elevator. Professional smile, hard eyes. Mr. Corian, my name is Victoria Chen. We spoke on the phone. Ms. Shaw is waiting upstairs. Reese stepped out, still holding Lara. She wrapped her arms around his neck. I want to go home, she whispered. I know, soon, I promise. Victoria led them to the elevator. Top floor, penthouse level. The doors opened onto a space that looked like it belonged in a magazine. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Furniture that cost more than most cars. Art on the walls that Reese recognized from documentaries Sarah used to watch. Clarion stood by the window's phone to her ear. She saw them and immediately ended the call. You're safe. That's all that matters right now. Lara lifted her head from Reese's shoulder, stared at Clarion with wide eyes. Are you the queen? Clarion blinked, almost smiled. Excuse me. You have the shiny car, and the pretty clothes, and everyone does what you say. You're like a queen. This time, Clarion did smile. She walked over and crouched down to Lara's eye level. I'm not a queen, sweetheart. I'm just someone who runs a company. My name is Clarion. That's a princess name. Is it? In my book, there's a princess named Clarissa. It sounds the same. Well, I'm honored to share a name with a princess. What's your name? Lara Marie Corian. I'm 7 3/4. 3/4 is very important. It's almost 8. 8 is when you get to stay up until 9 o'clock. Clarion glanced at Reese. He saw something in her eyes. Sadness, maybe? Or longing. Like she was watching something she'd never have. Lara, would you like some hot chocolate? Clarion asked. I have the good kind, with marshmallows. Lara looked at Reese. He nodded. Okay. But only if Daddy says it's okay. Daddy says it's okay. Victoria appeared from somewhere and led Lara toward the kitchen. Reese watched his daughter go, every instinct screaming to follow. She's safe here, Clarion said quietly. This building has security that makes Fort Knox look like a toy store. Nobody gets in without clearance. Nobody gets out without being tracked. And every floor has armed guards. You live like this. I live like someone who's made a lot of enemies building something they couldn't take from me. Reese turned to face her. Tell me everything. No more games, no more corporate talk. Tell me who those men were and why they want you dead. Clarion walked to a bar cart, poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handed him one. I don't drink. Today you do. He took it. Didn't drink. She sat on a leather couch, gestured for him to sit. He stayed standing. 3 months ago, I started noticing irregularities in our financial reports. Money moving through shell companies, contracts being awarded to firms that didn't exist 6 months ago. Small things, easy to miss if you weren't looking. But you were looking. I'm always looking. My father taught me that the moment you stop paying attention is the moment someone steals everything you built. She took a sip of whiskey. I hired a forensic accountant, private, someone outside the company. He found evidence of embezzlement. $60 million over 2 years. Reese whistled low. Who? That's where it gets complicated. The money trail leads to offshore accounts, encrypted transactions. Whoever's doing this knows how to hide. But more importantly, they have access to my systems, my files, my movements. Someone inside your company. Someone high up. Board level probably. Someone who knows where I'll be and when. Someone who can authorize payments without raising flags. The men in the garage weren't there to rob you. No, they were there to scare me, to make me back off the investigation, or maybe to kill me and make it look like a robbery gone wrong. She met his eyes. You saved my life. But more than that, you became a problem for them. A witness. A variable they didn't account for. So they came after Lara to send a message. Yes. Reese's hand tightened on the glass. The whiskey inside trembled. I need names. Everyone on your board. Everyone with high-level access. Everyone who knew you'd be in that garage that night. I'll get you the files. But Reese, these people are smart. They're careful. We can't just accuse without proof. I don't need proof. I need targets. That's not how this works. Then tell me how it works, because from where I'm standing, someone threatened my daughter, and I'm supposed to wait for them to try again. Clarion stood, walked to him, put her hand on his arm. He flinched, but didn't pull away. I understand you're angry. I understand you want to protect Lara. But if we move too fast, if we push too hard, they'll scatter. They'll hide the money, destroy the evidence, and we'll never know who was really behind this. I don't care about the money. I do, because the money is how we find them. The money is how we prove what they've done, and the money is how we make sure they spend the rest of their lives in prison, instead of hiring more men to come after your daughter. That landed. Reese took a breath, forced himself to think instead of react. What do you need from me? I need you to do exactly what we discussed. Take the job. Be my head of security. But more than that, I need you to be my eyes and ears inside the company. The current security team is good at protecting me from outside threats, but they're not looking for inside threats. You will be. You want me to spy on your own people. I want you to find the traitor before they kill me, or you, or Lara. From the kitchen, he heard Lara's laugh. Victoria was making her smile. Normal conversation. Hot chocolate and marshmallows. The sound of a child who didn't know the world was burning down around her. When do I start? Tomorrow morning. We'll move you and Lara into a secure apartment tonight. Everything you need is already there. Clothes, food, toys for Lara. We'll enroll her at Preston Academy on Monday. She'll ask questions. Why we moved. Why everything changed. So tell her the truth, that you got a new job, that this job comes with a better apartment and a better school, that Daddy's trying to give her a better life. She's 7. She'll know I'm hiding something. Children are resilient, and Lara has you. That's all she needs to feel safe. Reese looked at the whiskey in his hand, drank it in one swallow. It burned all the way down. I have conditions. Name them. Lara doesn't know about any of this, ever. As far as she's concerned, I got a promotion. Nothing more. Agreed. I need access to everything. Security feeds, employee files, financial records. If I'm going to find your traitor, I can't have anyone telling me what I'm allowed to see. Done. And when this is over, when we find whoever's behind this, you let me walk away. Lara and I go back to being nobody. Clarion was quiet for a moment. Is that really what you want to be, nobody again? It's what I promised my wife. Your wife is gone, Reese, and I think she'd want you to stop punishing yourself for being good at something. You didn't know her. No, but I know you. I've seen your file, Marine Force Recon. 2 tours in Afghanistan, decorated. Then private security. Then Krav Maga instructor. You spent your entire life protecting people. That's not something you just turn off because someone asks you to. Sarah didn't ask. I offered. Because I wanted to be better than the man I was. You were already better. You just needed someone to show you. The words hit harder than he expected. He set down the glass. I should check on Lara. Reese. He stopped. Thank you. For saying yes. For trusting me. I know this isn't what you wanted. What I want doesn't matter anymore. What matters is keeping my daughter safe. Everything else is just details. He walked toward the kitchen. Behind him, he heard Clarion pour another drink. Lara sat at a marble counter, feet swinging hot chocolate mustache on her upper lip. Victoria was showing her something on a tablet. They looked up when he entered. Daddy, Miss Victoria is showing me pictures of the new school. It has a playground with a castle. Does it? And a library with real books? Thousands of books. That sounds amazing. Can I really go there? He knelt beside her stool, took her small hands in his. Yes. Starting Monday, you're going to go to a new school, and we're going to move to a new apartment. A bigger one, with your own room. Her smile faded a little. But I like our apartment. All my drawings are there. We'll bring your drawings. We'll bring everything important. This is just going to be better. I promise. Why are we moving? Because Daddy got a new job. A really good job. And part of that job means we get to live in a nicer place, and you get to go to a better school. What kind of job? I'm going to help keep Ms. Shaw safe. Lara looked past him at Clarion, who had appeared in the doorway. Is someone trying to hurt you? Clarion came closer, crouched down beside Reese. Some people aren't very nice, Lara. They want to take things that don't belong to them. Your daddy is going to help make sure they can't do that. Like a superhero. Exactly like a superhero. Lara's eyes went wide. My daddy is a superhero. The best kind. The kind who helps people even when it's scary. Lara threw her arms around Reese's neck. I knew it. I told Emma my daddy was special. Reese held her. Caught Clarion's eye over Lara's shoulder. Saw understanding there. Saw gratitude. All right, superhero sidekick, he said. Let's go see this new apartment. They moved that night. The apartment was in a building 3 blocks from Shaw Industries. 20th floor. 2 bedrooms. 2 bathrooms. Windows that overlooked the city. Furniture that looked like it belonged in a showroom. Lara ran from room to room, exclaiming over everything. Daddy? My room has a window seat. And look at the closet. My clothes are already here. Reese followed her. Saw that someone had already unpacked everything. Lara's clothes in the closet, her toys on shelves, her books arranged by color. On the bed, her stuffed rabbit, Mr. Hopscotch, the one Sarah had given her for her 4th birthday. How did they know to bring Mr. Hopscotch? I told them to bring everything that mattered. She hugged the rabbit, smiled at him. This is the best day ever, even though it started scary. Yeah, baby girl. Even though. That night, after Lara fell asleep in her new bed, Reese stood by her window and looked out at the city. His phone buzzed. Text from Clarion. Everything okay? He typed back. She's asleep. She thinks this is an adventure. Children see the world differently. Maybe we should too. Maybe. Get some rest. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. He didn't sleep. Couldn't. He sat in the living room and watched the door. Old habits. The habits of a man who'd spent too many nights in hostile territory waiting for threats that never came. At 6 a.m. his phone rang. Clarion. Be at the tower by 8. Wear something professional. You're meeting the security team. I don't have anything professional. Check your closet. Second bedroom. He did. Found suits, dress shirts, ties, shoes, everything in his size. You think of everything. That's why I'm still alive. At 7, he woke Lara. Made her breakfast. Victoria appeared to take her to school. You're sure she'll be safe? Reese asked at the door. I'll be with her the entire time, Victoria said. And there's a security detail watching the school. Nobody gets within 100 feet of her without being identified and tracked. Lara hugged him. Bye, Daddy. Have fun being a superhero. Have fun learning to be a supervillain. She giggled and left holding Victoria's hand. The moment the door closed, Reese felt the weight settle on his shoulders. The weight of knowing that if he failed, if he missed something, if he wasn't good enough, his daughter would pay the price. He put on one of the suits, looked at himself in the mirror, barely recognized the man staring back. Clean-cut, professional, respectable, a lie in expensive fabric. At Shaw Industries, security stopped him at the front desk. ID, please. Reese Corian. I'm supposed to meet with Ms. Shaw. The guard checked his computer, frowned. Says here you're the new head of security. That's right. Nobody told us we were getting a new head. I'm telling you now. The guard's frown deepened. He picked up a phone, had a quiet conversation, hung up. 6th floor. Security operations. They're expecting you. The 6th floor was all glass walls and monitors. Dozens of screens showing feeds from cameras throughout the building. Men in tactical gear moved with military precision. Professional. Serious. The kind of team that cost millions to maintain. A man approached. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Gray at the temples. The kind of face that had seen combat and come out harder for it. You Corian. That's right. Marcus Wade. I run security for this building. You're supposedly my new boss. Supposedly. I've been doing this job for 8 years, protected Ms. Shaw through 3 assassination attempts, 2 hostile takeovers, and a stalker who made it to her penthouse before we put him down. And now some janitor walks in and gets my job because he got lucky in a parking garage. The other security personnel stopped what they were doing. Watched. Reese kept his voice level. I'm not here to take your job. I'm here to do a different job. You keep Ms. Shaw safe from outside threats. I'm looking at inside threats. There are no inside threats. I've vetted every employee in this building personally. Then you missed something, because someone inside is trying to kill her. Marcus stepped closer. Invasion of personal space. Alpha move. Trying to intimidate. You calling me incompetent? I'm saying you're looking in the wrong direction, and I'm here to look where you're not. You know what I think? I think you're a fraud. I think you got lucky once and talked your way into a job you're not qualified for. Reese smiled. Not friendly. You want to test that theory? Gentlemen. Clarion's voice cut through the tension like a blade. She stood in the doorway, flanked by 2 assistants. Mr. Wade, Mr. Corian is here on my direct orders. You will give him full access to all systems and cooperate with his investigation. Is that clear? Marcus's jaw clenched. Crystal, ma'am. Good. Reese, my office. Now. She turned and left. Reese followed. Behind him, he heard someone mutter something, heard the others laugh. He didn't turn around, didn't react, just followed Clarion into the elevator. The doors closed. "That went well," she said dryly. "They don't trust me. They don't know you. Give them time." "We might not have time." The elevator climbed, stopped at the executive floor. Penthouse level. Her office took up half the floor. Windows on 3 sides. Desk that looked like it belonged in a museum. Bookshelves lined with leather-bound volumes. And on her desk, a flower arrangement. Orchids. Purple and white. Reese walked to it immediately. Studied it. "What?" Clarion asked. "Where did this come from?" "I don't know. My assistant arranges for flowers twice a week." "Why?" He picked up the vase, turned it, saw the small device hidden in the foam at the base, no bigger than a button. Professional work. "Because someone's listening to everything you say." He carefully extracted the device, held it up. Clarion's face went pale. "How long has that been there?" "I don't know, but whoever planted it knows your schedule. Knows when you're in meetings. Knows when you're alone. This is how they stay ahead of you." Clarion pulled out her phone. Called someone. "Marcus, get up here now, and bring your team." 2 minutes later, Marcus and 3 others crowded into the office. Marcus saw the device in Reese's hand. "Where did you find that?" "In the flowers. How often does this office get swept for bugs?" "Every Monday. We did a full sweep 3 days ago." "Then either your sweeps aren't thorough enough, or someone planted this after Monday." "Impossible. Nobody enters this office without being logged and searched." "Obviously someone did." Clarion stepped between them. "Marcus, I need you to run a complete audit. Everyone who entered this office since Monday. Every delivery. Every meeting. I want names, times, and video." "Yes, ma'am." "And increase the security sweeps to daily. Every room, every floor. If there's one bug, there might be more." Marcus and his team left. Reese set the device on Clarion's desk. "This is military-grade surveillance, custom hardware, not something you buy online. Whoever's behind this has serious resources." "Can we trace it?" "Maybe, if we're lucky." He paused. "I know someone who might be able to help. Someone I trust." "Who?" "His name is Kenji Tanaka. He was one of my students in Philadelphia. Brilliant kid. Went into cybersecurity after I left. Works for a private firm now. If anyone can trace this hardware, it's him." "Call him." Reese pulled out his phone, found the number he hadn't called in 3 years. Dialed. 3 rings. "Hello." "Kenji. It's Reese." Silence. Then laughter. Disbelieving. "Sensei, holy shit. I thought you were dead." "Not dead. Just hiding." "Yeah, I heard about Sarah. I'm sorry, man. She was good people." "She was. Listen, I need a favor. A big one." "Name it." "I need you to trace a surveillance device, military grade, custom hardware, and I need you to do it without leaving any digital footprints." Another pause. "You in trouble?" "I'm trying to prevent trouble." "Where are you?" "Can't say over the phone. Can you meet me?" "Depends. Is this legal? Gray area?" Kenji laughed. "Okay, I'm in, for old time's sake. Where and when?" "I'll text you an address. Tonight, 8 o'clock. Bring coffee. Good coffee. None of that gas station crap." "Deal." He hung up. Looked at Clarion. "He'll help. But we need to keep this quiet. If whoever planted this bug finds out we found it, they'll change tactics. So we leave it here." "Exactly. Let them think they're still listening. Meanwhile, we feed them false information. Make them think we're looking in the wrong places." Clarion smiled. Real smile this time. "You're good at this." "I used to be." "Reese." "Yeah. Thank you for finding that." Marcus and his team are good, but they're not looking for the right threats. You are. I'm looking for anyone who wants to hurt you or Lara. That's all I care about. His phone buzzed. Text from Victoria with a photo. Lara in her new classroom, smiling, surrounded by other kids. She's happy, Clarion said, looking over his shoulder. For now. For now is enough. That night, Reese met Kenji in an empty warehouse across town. Neutral ground. Somewhere cameras didn't reach. Kenji looked the same. Mid-30s. Japanese-American. Thin-framed glasses. Hoodie and jeans. Laptop bag over his shoulder. He saw Reese and grinned. Sensei, you look different. Fancy suit. Corporate life treating you well? It's complicated. It always is with you. He pulled out the laptop. Show me the device. Reese handed him the bug. Kenji examined it with the intensity of a jeweler studying a diamond. Wow, this is serious hardware. Custom silicon. Encrypted transmission. Battery life of maybe 3 months. Whoever made this knows their stuff. Can you trace it? Maybe. Every device has a signature, a fingerprint in how it's built. If I can identify the components, I can narrow down who manufactured them. From there, maybe we can find who bought them. How long? 3 days, maybe 4. This isn't easy work, Sensei. I know. Just do it fast. People's lives depend on it. Kenji looked at him. Really looked. You're scared. I've never seen you scared before. I have a daughter now. Everything's different when you have someone to lose. Yeah, I get that. Kenji packed up the device carefully. I'll call you when I have something. Meanwhile, watch your back. People who use this kind of tech don't play games. I know. They shook hands. Kenji left through the back. Reese waited 5 minutes, then left through the front. On the drive back to the apartment, his phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. Then did. Yes. Mr. Corian. Male voice. Cold. Professional. We need to talk. Who is this? Someone who knows what you're doing. Someone who knows you found the bug. Someone who wants you to stop asking questions before people get hurt. Reese's blood went cold. You threatening me? I'm warning you. Walk away. Take your daughter. Disappear. We'll even pay you. $500,000. Cash. Untraceable. Just leave. Not interested. Then you're making a mistake. I've made worse. Have you? Because we know where Lara goes to school. We know she has art class on Wednesdays. We know Victoria Chen picks her up at 3:15 every day. We know everything, Mr. Corian. And if you keep interfering, we'll make sure you regret it. The line went dead. Reese pulled over. His hands shook on the steering wheel. Not from fear, from rage. They knew about Lara's schedule. They knew about Victoria. They were watching. Always watching. He called Clarion. They just called me. Threatened Lara directly. They know we found the bug. How? I don't know. But they're watching us. Maybe more bugs we haven't found. Maybe someone on the inside reporting to them. What do you want to do? I want to find them, tonight, and I want to end this. Reese, we can't just... They threatened my daughter. There's no negotiation anymore. There's no playing it safe. We find them or they find us. Those are the only 2 options. Silence on the line. Then Clarion's voice, quiet but firm. Okay. Come to my penthouse. We'll make a plan. On my way. He drove through the city with murder in his heart and a promise on his lips. The same promise he'd made in that Mercedes with Lara sleeping in his arms. Whatever it takes. Whoever I have to become. The ghost was fully awake now. And this time it wasn't going back to sleep until everyone who threatened his daughter was gone. Clarion's penthouse was dark when Reese arrived. Only the city lights through the windows. She stood by the glass phone in her hand, staring at something he couldn't see. They called you too? He asked. She turned. Her face was pale. 30 minutes ago. Same voice, same threat. They offered me $20 million to fire you and drop the investigation. What did you say? I hung up on them. Good. She walked to the bar, poured 2 drinks, handed him one. This time he drank without being asked. This is escalating, she said. Fast, they're getting desperate. Desperate people make mistakes. Desperate people also do desperate things. Reese, they threatened Laura. My lawyers say that's enough to get police protection. Federal protection, maybe. No police. Why not? Because if there's a mole in your company, there might be one in the police department too. These people have money. They have resources. They've stayed hidden for 2 years stealing $60 million. You think they haven't bought protection? She leaned against the bar, looked tired suddenly, vulnerable in a way he hadn't seen before. I built this company from nothing. After my father died, people said I'd fail. Said I was too young, too inexperienced, too emotional. I proved them wrong. I grew us by 300% in 5 years. And now someone inside my own walls is trying to take it all away. We'll find them. How can you be so sure? Because they made it personal. They threatened my daughter. And I don't lose when it's personal. She looked at him for a long moment. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? I don't know. Someone harder. Colder. But you're not cold. You're just buried. There's a difference. Sarah used to say I felt too much. That's why I learned to fight. To give all that feeling somewhere to go. She sounds like she understood you. She was the only one who ever did. Clarion set down her glass, walked to a table covered in files. I pulled everything you asked for. Board member profiles, financial access logs, security clearances, everyone who could have planted that bug. Reese joined her, looked at the files. 12 board members, dozens of executives, hundreds of employees with high-level access. It's too many, he said. I know, that's the problem. We need to narrow it down. Who benefits most if you're gone? Several people. Lachlan Graves. He's been pushing for a buyout from a competitor. I keep blocking it. If I die, the board might approve the sale. Who else? Victoria's predecessor, Martin Holloway. I fired him 6 months ago for inappropriate conduct. He threatened to sue, then disappeared. Disappeared how? Just stopped showing up to his lawyer meetings, stopped posting on social media. It's like he vanished. Or someone made him vanish. You think he's dead? I think if someone's willing to kill you for $60 million, they'd kill a loose end for free. Clarion's phone buzzed. She looked at it, and her expression changed. It's Marcus. He found something in the security audit. She answered on speaker. What do you have? Marcus's voice came through tense. Ms. Shaw, I need you to stay calm, but we found 7 more bugs. Your office, your car, your penthouse, even the elevator you use. Someone's been listening to everything for weeks. Reese felt ice in his veins. The penthouse. How did they get into the penthouse? I don't know, but whoever did this had access to your private spaces. That means someone on your personal staff or someone with master security clearance. How many people have that clearance? Reese asked. 12, all of them thoroughly vetted. Vet them again. Look for anything. New purchases, sudden debts, offshore accounts. I want to know if someone's been paid. Already on it. I'll have preliminary results by morning. Clarion ended the call, sat down hard on the couch. 7 bugs. They've been listening to everything. Every conversation, every call, every meeting. Which means they know we're onto them. Which means they'll accelerate whatever they're planning. Reese's phone rang. Kenji. That was fast, Reese answered. Yeah, well, you said it was urgent. Listen, I traced the components in that bug. The silicon chip was manufactured by a company in Singapore, very exclusive. They only sell to government contractors and private military firms. I cross-referenced their client list and got 3 hits in your city. One is a defense contractor that works with the Pentagon. One is a private security firm. And one is a shell company registered to an offshore account. The shell company. Can you trace who owns it? Working on it. But Sensei, here's the weird part. That same shell company purchased surveillance equipment 6 months ago. High-end stuff. Enough to wire an entire building. Reese looked at Clarion. She'd heard everything. 6 months ago, she said quietly. That's when Martin Holloway was fired. You think he's behind this? I don't know, but the timing fits. Kenji's voice came back through the phone. There's more. I hacked into the shell company's payment records. They've been making monthly deposits to 7 different accounts, all offshore, all encrypted, but one of them made a mistake. They transferred money to a domestic account 2 weeks ago, just once, like they were testing something. Can you trace the domestic account? Already did. It belongs to a company called Graves Capital Management. The room went silent. Clarion stood slowly. Lachlan Graves. You know him? Kenji asked. He's on my board. He's been pushing for a buyout for months. I thought he just wanted the commission. But if he's behind this, then he's not just embezzling, Reese finished. He's trying to take over the entire company. Kenji spoke again. Sensei, whoever this Graves guy is, he's smart. Most of his transactions are clean, but everyone makes mistakes. And he made his when he got impatient. Can you prove he's behind the bugs? Not yet, but give me another day. I'll find the connection. You've got 12 hours. After that, they might clean up their trails. I'll call you when I have something solid. Kenji hung up. Clarion was pacing now, energy radiating off her like heat. Lachlan Graves. I've known him for 3 years. He came to my father's funeral, told me he'd help me run the company. I trusted him. Did you ever give him access to your private spaces? No, but he has master security clearance. He could have authorized someone else. We need to confront him. Not yet. If we confront him without proof, he'll lawyer up, destroy evidence. We need to catch him in the act. Then we set a trap. What kind of trap? Reese thought for a moment. Sarah's voice in his head. She used to play chess with him on quiet nights. Taught him that the best way to win was to make your opponent think they were winning. We use the bugs. We feed him false information, make him think we're looking in the wrong direction. And when he moves to cover his tracks, we catch him. What kind of false information? Tell him you've identified a suspect, someone low-level, someone expendable. Say you're meeting with the police tomorrow to hand over evidence. Make him panic. If he panics, he might run. Or he might try to destroy the evidence himself. Either way, he makes a move, and when he does, we're watching. Clarion considered this, nodded slowly. It's risky. Everything's risky now, but doing nothing is riskier. When do we start? Tomorrow morning, first thing. Make a big show of it. Conference call with your lawyers. Use the phone in your office. The one we know is bugged. Give him something to chase. And if he doesn't bite, then we go to Plan B. What's Plan B? We go to his house and ask him nicely to confess. She almost smiled. That's not a plan. It's the only plan I've got if the trap doesn't work. Clarion walked to the window, looked out at the city. Reese, if we do this, if we catch Graves, he won't go quietly. Men like him don't surrender. They fight, with lawyers, with money, with violence. Let him fight. I'm very good at violence. That's what I'm afraid of. What do you mean? She turned to face him. I mean, you're getting comfortable with being the ghost again. I can see it in your eyes, the way you move, the way you think. You're not the janitor anymore. You're the man who killed in 10 seconds. And I'm worried that when this is over, you won't be able to bury him again. The words landed like punches. I'm doing this for Lara. I know. But what happens when Lara asks why Daddy's different? Why Daddy's harder? Why Daddy doesn't smile the same way anymore? I'll deal with that when it happens. Will you? Or will you just bury it deeper? Stop. Reese. I said stop. His voice came out harder than he meant. He took a breath. You hired me to find the people threatening you. To protect you and my daughter. That's what I'm doing. Don't psychoanalyze my methods. I'm not analyzing your methods. I'm worried about you. You don't know me well enough to worry. Maybe not. But I know what it's like to become someone you're not proud of to survive. I know what it costs, and I don't want that for you." They stood there, 10 feet apart. A gulf between them built from different kinds of pain. Reese's phone buzzed. Text from Victoria. "Laura's asleep. All quiet here. Security reports nothing unusual." He texted back. "Keep me updated. Any movement, you call me immediately." He looked at Clarion. "I should go, check on Laura. She's safe with Victoria." "I know, but I need to see her. I need to remember why I'm doing this." "Reese." He stopped at the door. "For what it's worth, I think your wife was lucky. Not everyone gets loved that completely." He didn't know how to respond to that, so he just left. The apartment was quiet when he got back. Victoria was asleep on the couch. He checked Laura's room. She was curled up with Mr. Hopscotch breathing softly. He sat on the edge of her bed and watched her sleep. "I'm sorry, baby girl," he whispered. "I'm sorry you're in this. I'm sorry I brought danger back into our lives. But I promise you, when this is over, we'll go somewhere safe, somewhere they can't find us. And I'll go back to being just Daddy. No more ghosts, no more fighting, just us." She stirred, opened her eyes sleepily. "Daddy." "Hey, sorry, didn't mean to wake you. Are you okay?" "I'm fine." "You look sad." 7 years old, and she saw everything. "Just tired." "Do you want to talk about it? Mama used to say talking makes sad things smaller." He smiled despite everything. "Mama was very smart." "The smartest." She yawned. "Daddy, do you think Mama can see us from heaven?" "I think so." "What do you think she'd say about our new apartment?" "I think she'd love it, especially your room. She always wanted you to have your own space." "Do you think she'd like Ms. Shaw?" The question surprised him. "Why do you ask?" "Because Ms. Shaw is nice, and she looks at you the way Mama used to look at you. Like you're important." "Laura, I know you miss Mama. I miss her too. But Daddy, it's okay if you like someone else. Mama told me once that love doesn't run out, that there's always enough." His chest felt like it was cracking open. "When did Mama tell you that?" "Before she went to the hospital the last time. She said that when she was gone, it was okay for you to be happy again. That she wanted you to find someone who made you smile." Tears burned his eyes. He blinked them back. "You're too smart for 7 years old." 7 3/4. "Right, 7 3/4. She hugged him. He held her close. "I love you, Daddy. I love you infinity plus 1. That's still impossible." "Doesn't make it less true." She fell back asleep in his arms. He laid her down gently, kissed her forehead, left the room before he broke down completely. In the living room, Victoria was awake. "Sorry, didn't mean to wake you." "You didn't. I'm a light sleeper." She paused. "She's a special kid. You're doing a good job with her." "I'm trying." "That's all anyone can do." He sat in the chair across from her. "Victoria, how long have you worked for Clarion?" 4 years. Why? You ever see anything suspicious? Anyone acting strange around her?" "I see a lot of things, Mr. Corian. But I keep Ms. Shaw's confidence. That's my job. Even if keeping her confidence might get her killed." Victoria's expression hardened. "What are you asking me?" "I'm asking if you've noticed anything about Lachlan Graves. Anything off." She was quiet for a long moment. "You think he's behind the attacks?" "I think he's involved. I don't know how deep yet. I've never liked him. He looks at Ms. Shaw like she's property, like something he owns. 6 months ago at a board meeting, I overheard him on the phone. He was talking about timelines, about waiting for the right moment. I didn't think anything of it then. But now? Now it sounds like he was planning something." Yes. Did you tell Clarion? I mentioned it. She said Graves was probably talking about a business deal, that I was being paranoid. You weren't paranoid. You were right. Victoria leaned forward. Mr. Corian, if Graves is behind this, he's dangerous. More dangerous than you know. I've done research on him. Before Shaw Industries, he was involved in 3 other companies. All of them had suspicious financial irregularities. All of them ended with hostile takeovers. And in all 3 cases, the CEO died within a year. Car accidents. Heart attacks. One mysterious fall from a balcony. Ice spread through Reese's veins. You're saying he's done this before? I'm saying he has a pattern, and Ms. Shaw fits that pattern perfectly. Why didn't you tell her this? I tried. She said it was circumstantial, that Graves was cleared by background checks, that I was seeing conspiracies where there were none. She trusts him. She trusted him, past tense. After the parking garage attack, she started asking more questions, looking deeper. That's probably why he escalated. Reese stood, paced. Tomorrow morning, Clarion's going to bait him. Make him think we're looking at someone else. If he takes the bait, he'll make a move. And if he doesn't, then I'm going to have a very direct conversation with him. Be careful. Men like Graves don't fight fair. Neither do I. His phone buzzed. Text from Kenji. Found something. Call me, now. Reese stepped onto the balcony. Called. What did you find? Sensei, you need to hear this. I traced the shell company's communication records. They've been in contact with someone inside Shaw Industries' security department. Someone with access to Clarion Shaw's schedule. Her movements. Everything. Who? I don't have a name yet, but I have an IP address. And that IP address matches a terminal in the Shaw Industries security office, 6th floor. Marcus Wade's floor. You're sure? 100%. Someone on that security team is feeding information to Graves. They've been doing it for months. Can you identify which terminal? Working on it. But Sensei, whoever it is, they're good. They've covered their tracks, used VPNs, encrypted communications. This isn't some amateur selling information. This is a professional. How long to identify them? Few hours, maybe less. Do it. And Kenji? Yeah. Watch your back. If they find out you're digging into this, you become a target too. I'm always careful, Sensei. Learn from the best. The line went dead. Reese stood on the balcony and looked out at the city. Somewhere out there, Lachlan Graves was sleeping peacefully, thinking he was winning, thinking he was untouchable. Tomorrow that would change. Tomorrow the ghost would hunt. He went inside, checked on Lara one more time. She was still sleeping, still innocent, still his reason for everything. I'm going to fix this, he whispered to the darkness. And then we're going to disappear. Somewhere safe, somewhere clean. I promise. At 6 a.m. his phone rang. Clarion. It's time. I'm making the call in 30 minutes. Are you ready? I'm ready. Reese? Yeah. Thank you. For everything. For saving me. For believing me. For not running when things got dangerous. I'm not done yet. I know. But still, thank you. She hung up. Reese got dressed, left Victoria with sleeping Lara, drove to Shaw Industries as the sun rose over the city. Marcus met him in the lobby. Ms. Shaw told me about the plan. I don't like it. You don't have to like it. You just have to make sure no one interferes. If Graves realizes he's being set up, then we adapt. That's what we do. They rode the elevator in silence. 6th floor. The security team was assembled, watching monitors, tracking movements throughout the building. One of them was a traitor, and today Reese was going to find out who. Clarion's voice came over the intercom. Attention all personnel. I'm holding a conference call in my office in 10 minutes. Senior leadership and legal only. This is regarding the investigation into recent security breaches. Reese watched the security team, watched their faces, their body language, looking for tells, for nervousness, for anything that said guilt. Most of them looked bored. Routine announcement, nothing special. But one of them, young guy, late 20s, dark hair. He went very still. His eyes flickered to his phone, then back to the monitors. Reese memorized his face. 10 minutes later, Clarion's voice came through the office speakers. "Thank you everyone for joining this call. I'll get right to it. We've identified the individual responsible for the security breaches. His name is Daniel Morrison, junior accountant. We have evidence of him accepting payments from an outside party in exchange for access codes and scheduling information. We'll be turning this evidence over to federal authorities this afternoon." There was no Daniel Morrison. Reese had made up the name last night, but Graves didn't know that. Reese watched the security monitors, watched Graves's office on the executive floor. The man sat at his desk phone to his ear, face flushed. Then Graves stood, grabbed his briefcase, headed for the elevator. "He's moving," Reese said into his radio. Marcus's voice came back. "Following. Don't lose him." Reese moved fast, down the stairs, racing to cut off Graves before he could leave the building. He reached the parking garage just as Graves emerged from the elevator. The man walked fast, purpose in every step. He was heading for his car, a black BMW, expensive, clean. "Mr. Graves," Reese called out. Graves spun, saw him. His face went through several emotions: surprise, fear, anger. "Mr. Corian, what are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing, leaving in the middle of the day. That's unusual for a board member." "I have a lunch meeting." "Really? Your calendar says you're free until 3. Graves's eyes narrowed. "You've been checking my calendar." "I've been checking a lot of things. I don't have time for this." He turned to walk away. Reese blocked his path. "Actually, you do, because we need to talk about shell companies and surveillance equipment and $60 million that seems to have disappeared from Shaw Industries accounts." Graves went very still. "I don't know what you're talking about." "I think you do. I think you've been planning this for a long time. I think you hired those men to attack Clarion. I think you planted bugs in her office. And I think you threatened my daughter." "You're insane." "Am I? Then why are you running?" "I'm not running. I'm leaving. There's a difference." "Not today, there isn't." Graves pulled out his phone. "I'm calling my lawyer." "Go ahead. But you should know we have your communication records. We have your shell company transactions. And we have evidence linking you to the men who attacked Clarion. So call whoever you want. It won't change what's coming." Graves's hand shook on his phone. "You can't prove anything." "Actually, we can. That's the fun part. You were so careful, so methodical. But you made one mistake. You got impatient. And impatience leaves traces. I want my lawyer." "You'll get him, right after we have a conversation about why you thought threatening a 7-year-old girl was acceptable business practice." Something flickered across Graves's face. Not guilt. Calculation, like he was weighing options. Then he smiled. "Mr. Corian, you seem like a smart man, a capable man. I could use someone like you. Whatever Clarion's paying you, I'll double it, triple it. Just walk away. Forget everything you've learned. Take your daughter somewhere nice. Live well." "No. You're making a mistake. Everyone keeps telling me that, but I'm still here." Graves's smile disappeared. "Then you're a fool, and fools don't live long in this business." "That a threat?" "It's a fact." Behind Graves, the elevator doors opened. Marcus and 3 security officers stepped out. Graves saw them, realized he was surrounded. His face went through several expressions before settling on cold fury. "You think you've won," he said quietly. "But you have no idea what you've started. I'm not alone in this, and the people I work with don't take losses well." Then maybe they should have thought about that before threatening my family. Marcus approached. Mr. Graves, we need you to come with us. Ms. Shaw would like to speak with you. I'm not going anywhere without my lawyer. That's your right, but you're not leaving this building until we have some answers. Graves looked at Reese. Really looked. This isn't over. Yeah, Reese said. It is. They took Graves to a conference room, locked the door, posted guards. Reese called Clarion. We have him. Good. I'm on my way down. And Reese. Yeah. Kenji just sent me something. You need to see it. Now. Reese met Clarion in her office. She had her laptop open, face-pale hands trembling slightly as she turned the screen toward him. Kenji sent this 5 minutes ago. The screen showed a document. Bank transfers, dates, amounts, and at the bottom a name that made Reese's blood run cold. Marcus Wade. No, Reese said. That's not possible. Look at the dates. Every payment to Graves's shell company corresponds with a security shift change, with updated schedules, with access code rotations. Marcus has been feeding him everything for 8 months. He's been protecting you for 8 years. And getting paid to betray me for the last 8 months. Kenji traced it all. The payments go to an account in Marcus's wife's maiden name. $50,000 a month, plus a bonus every time he provided critical intelligence. Reese felt the world tilt. He'd worked alongside Marcus, trusted his read on the man, and he'd missed it completely. Where is he now? 6th floor, with his team, watching Graves in the conference room. He doesn't know we know. Not yet. Reese pulled out his phone, called Kenji. Tell me you're absolutely certain about this. 100% Sensei. I traced every transaction 3 times. Marcus Wade is your mole. And there's more. He's been in contact with someone else. Another player we haven't identified yet. Someone who's been coordinating everything from outside the company. Who? I don't have a name yet. But they've been communicating through encrypted channels. Military-grade encryption. Whoever it is, they're professional. And they're still out there. Reese looked at Clarion. There's someone else. Someone above Graves and Marcus. Someone we haven't found yet. Then we make them come to us. How? She stood, paced. He could see her mind working. CEO brain, strategic, calculating. We use Graves. We tell him we'll make a deal, reduce charges in exchange for the name of his partner. We do it publicly, loud. Make sure whoever's listening through the bugs knows we're offering immunity. You think they'll panic? I think they'll do exactly what we'd do. Try to eliminate the liability before it can talk. You want to use Graves as bait. I want to catch whoever's really running this operation. Graves is just middle management. There's someone bigger, someone who's been pulling strings. And they won't let Graves expose them. Reese thought about it. Risky. Dangerous. But she was right. If they just arrested Graves and Marcus, the real power would slip away. Start over with someone new. We need to control the environment. Choose where and when this happens. There's a warehouse on the east side. We use it for storage. Off the books. No cameras. No witnesses. We stage a transfer. Make it look like we're moving Graves somewhere secure. And we wait for them to make their move. That's insane. That's the only way to end this. They tried to kill me once. They threatened your daughter. We don't stop now, they'll just try again. And next time, we might not be ready. Reese wanted to argue, wanted to tell her there was a safer way. But he knew she was right. Predators didn't stop hunting just because they missed once. They kept hunting until they succeeded or died trying. When? Tonight, after dark. We tell Graves we're moving him to federal custody. We leak it through the bugs, make it look real, and then we see who shows up to stop it. What about Marcus? We keep him close. Tell him he's in charge of the transport. That way we know exactly where he is when everything goes down. He'll know it's a trap the moment he sees the setup. Maybe. Or maybe he'll think he's finally won, that he gets to tie up the loose end and collect his final payment. Reese pulled out his phone, called Victoria. "How's Laura?" "Happy. We're at the park. She made 3 new friends. Why?" "I need you to take her somewhere safe, out of the city, tonight. Don't tell anyone where you're going. Not me, not Clarion, no one." "What's happening?" "Something dangerous. Something that needs to end. And I can't do what needs to be done if I'm worried about her." Victoria was quiet for a moment. "Okay, I have a sister in Vermont. We'll drive there. 6 hours. We'll be gone by noon." "Thank you." "Reese, come back to her. Whatever you're planning, make sure you come back." "I will." He hung up, looked at Clarion. "Lara will be safe. Now let's finish this." They spent the next 2 hours planning, every detail, every contingency. Clarion made calls, pulled strings. By 3 p.m., everything was in place. The warehouse was prepared. Empty except for a single van in the center. Floodlights positioned around the perimeter. Everything arranged to look like a legitimate federal transfer. But the agents weren't real agents. They were private security. People Clarion trusted. People who'd been with her father. At 4 p.m., Clarion visited Graves in the conference room. Reese watched through the one-way glass. Graves looked tired, angry. His expensive suit was wrinkled, his perfect hair messed. But his eyes were sharp, calculating, still looking for an angle. "Mr. Graves," Clarion said, sitting across from him. "We need to talk. I'm not saying anything without my lawyer. Your lawyer is on his way, but I wanted to speak with you first, off the record. There's no such thing as off the record with you. Maybe not. But I'm going to make you an offer anyway. A one-time offer that expires the moment your lawyer walks through that door." That got his attention. "I'm listening." "You give me the name of your partner, the person who's been coordinating this operation. You give me everything, bank accounts, communication records, every piece of evidence that proves who's really behind this. And in exchange, I don't press charges. You walk away, disappear, live your life somewhere far from here." Graves laughed. No humor in it. "You think I'm stupid. The moment I give you that name, I'm dead. Whoever's behind this doesn't leave witnesses." "Then you're dead anyway, because federal authorities are taking you into custody tonight, and the moment you're in the system, you're accessible, vulnerable. Whoever you're protecting can reach you in lockup. They can reach you in transit. They can reach you anywhere. But if you give me what I want, I can protect you. New identity, new life. You'd actually survive this." "I don't believe you." "I don't care if you believe me. I'm offering you a chance, the only chance you're going to get. Take it or don't. But this offer ends in 10 minutes. She stood, walked to the door. "Wait." She turned. Graves was staring at the table, his hands clasped in front of him, knuckles white. "If I tell you, you have to promise me something." "What?" "My family doesn't know about any of this. My wife, my kids, they think I'm a legitimate businessman. You leave them alone. You don't destroy them to get to me. I'm not interested in your family. I'm interested in whoever tried to kill me." Graves took a breath. "His name is Holloway, Martin Holloway. Your former executive assistant, the one you fired 6 months ago." Clarion went very still. "Martin's dead. His lawyer said he disappeared months ago." "He's not dead. He's very much alive. And very much angry. When you fired him, you didn't just take his job. You took his reputation, his credibility. No one would hire him after you labeled him toxic. He lost everything. His house, his marriage, his children won't speak to him. So he decided to take everything from you. Martin doesn't have the resources to pull this off. No. But his brother does. Retired military, private contractor, connections to people who do very bad things for very good money. Martin came to me 6 months ago with a plan. We embezzle enough money to tank the company's value. Force a buyout. I profit from the sale. Martin gets revenge. Everyone wins. Except me. Except you. But then you hired that forensic accountant, started asking questions, and Martin panicked, said we needed to accelerate, get you out of the picture permanently. I told him that was insane, that murder was too far, but he didn't listen. He hired those men, planted those bugs, and when your janitor interfered, he decided to make it personal. Reese felt ice spread through his veins. Holloway. The man had threatened Lara, had sent men to her school. Clarion's voice stayed level. Where is he? I don't know. He moves around, uses burner phones, different cars. He's paranoid, smart. The only way to contact him is through an encrypted messaging app. He reaches out to me. I never reach out to him. When's the last time he contacted you? This morning, right after your announcement about Daniel Morrison. He knew it was fake, said you were setting a trap, told me to sit tight, that he'd handle everything. Handle everything how? I don't know. But Martin doesn't make empty threats. If he says he'll handle it, he means he'll come for you, and he won't stop until you're dead. Clarion stared at him for a long moment. Thank you, Mr. Graves. You just saved your life. She walked out, found Reese in the hallway. You heard. Every word. Holloway's alive. He's the one who threatened Lara. Then tonight we end him. How do we find him? We don't. We let him find us. We proceed with the transfer exactly as planned. We move Graves to the warehouse, make it loud, make it obvious. And when Holloway shows up to stop it, we're ready. What about Marcus? We bring him in, tell him we're moving Graves to federal custody tonight, that we need his team for security. He'll report to Holloway, and Holloway will come. With how many men? Enough to feel confident, not enough to raise suspicion. My guess 4 or 5. Professional contractors, well-armed, well-trained. And us. We'll have 20 men positioned around that warehouse. Ex-military, people who know how to handle a firefight. The moment Holloway's team shows up, we lock down every exit. No one gets out. Reese thought about Lara. Safe in Vermont. Far away from this. Far away from him. When this is over, I'm done. You know that, right? I keep my promise. Lara and I disappear. I know. And I'll help you. New identities, new life. Whatever you need. You saved my life, Reese. I don't forget that. At 6 p.m., Marcus came to Clarion's office. Reese was there. So was Kenji, remotely listening through Clarion's laptop. You wanted to see me, ma'am? Yes. We're transferring Graves to federal custody tonight, 9 p.m. I need your team to handle security. Marcus nodded. Professional, calm. But Reese saw it. The slight tension in his shoulders. The way his eyes flickered to the door. Where's the transfer happening? East Side Warehouse. The old storage facility. It's off the books. Secure. Federal agents will meet us there. How many agents? 4. Plus your team. That is plenty. Ma'am, with respect, I'd recommend using more security. Graves is connected, dangerous. If someone tries to intercept the transfer, that's why I'm trusting you, Marcus. You've kept me safe for 8 years. One more night, then this is over. Marcus met her eyes. Reese saw the calculation there, the weighing of options. Yes, ma'am. We'll be ready. He left. The moment the door closed, Kenji's voice came through the laptop. He just sent a text, encrypted, to the same number he's been contacting for months. I'm tracing it now. Can you read the message? Reese asked. Working on it. Give me a minute. They waited. 45 seconds felt like 45 years. Got it, Kenji said. Message says transfer tonight. East Warehouse, 9 p.m. Federal agents, small team, vulnerable. This is our chance. Clarion looked at Reese. He took the bait. Now we wait. The next 3 hours moved like syrup. Reese couldn't eat, couldn't sit still. He checked his phone every 2 minutes, waiting for word from Victoria that Lara was safe. At 8:15, the text came. Vermont, safe. She's asking about you. I told her you're finishing your superhero work. She says she loves you." He texted back, "Love her infinity +1. Keep her safe. Always." At 8:30 they moved Graves. 3 cars. Marcus's security team in front and back. Graves in the middle with Clarion and Reese. They drove through the city with full lights. Made it obvious. Made it loud. The warehouse was exactly as planned. Floodlights illuminating the space. The van in the center. 4 men in federal agent uniforms standing ready. Except they weren't federal agents. They were Clarion's people. Armed. Prepared. And hidden in the shadows 20 more men. Positioned on catwalks. Behind storage crates. Watching every entrance. Every exit. They brought Graves out of the car. He saw the setup and understood immediately. "You're using me as bait. As doom. You're helping us catch a killer," Clarion said. "Consider it partial payment for what you've done." If Holloway figures this out, he won't, not until it's too late. They walked Graves to the van, made a show of processing him. Transfer documents, photographs, everything designed to look legitimate. Marcus stood near the entrance with his team, radio in hand, eyes scanning the perimeter. He looked professional, competent. No one watching would guess he was the traitor. But Reese knew, and he watched Marcus like a wolf watches prey. At 9 p.m. exactly, the lights went out. All of them. The floodlights. The warehouse emergency lighting. Everything plunged into darkness. Then gunfire. Muzzle flashes lit the darkness like lightning. Reese dove, pulling Clarion down behind the van. Graves hit the ground screaming. "Contact multiple shooters," someone yelled. The 4 fake agents returned fire. But they were shooting blind. The attackers had night vision. They had the advantage. Reese's eyes adjusted. He saw movement. 4 men entering through the north entrance. Professional formation, tactical gear, automatic weapons, and behind them a 5th man, smaller, moving different, giving orders. Holloway. "There," Reese pointed. Clarion spoke into her radio. "All teams engage. Lock down all exits. No one leaves." The 20 hidden men opened fire. Suddenly the attackers were caught in a crossfire, pinned, exposed. One went down, then another. Holloway saw his team falling and turned to run. Reese was already moving. He crossed the warehouse floor at a sprint, jumped over a crate, rolled behind a forklift, came up running. Holloway made it to the south exit, shoved the door open, ran into the alley. Reese followed. The alley was dark, narrow, filled with dumpsters and shadows. Holloway was 50 feet ahead, running hard. "Holloway!" Reese shouted. "Stop!" Holloway spun, raised a pistol, fired 3 times. Reese dove behind a dumpster. The bullets sparked off metal. He waited 2 seconds. Looked. Holloway was running again. Reese chased. His lungs burned. His legs screamed. But he pushed harder. Holloway reached the end of the alley, turned right onto a street. Reese was 30 feet behind now, gaining. "You can't run forever. Watch me." Holloway jumped into a car. Black sedan. Engine already running. Someone was waiting for him. The car screeched away. Reese ran into the street, watched the taillights disappear, pulled out his phone, called Clarion. He got away. Black sedan. Heading west on 5th Street. "We have traffic cameras. We'll track him." "What about the others?" "2 dead, 2 in custody, and Marcus. We have Marcus." "I'm coming back." He ran back to the warehouse. Inside, the lights were on again. Emergency power. The scene looked like a war zone. Bullet holes everywhere. Blood on the concrete. Marcus sat on the ground, hands zip-tied behind his back, face bruised. One of Clarion's men stood over him. Clarion saw Reese. "Holloway?" "Gone. He had a driver. Planned escape." "We'll find him." "How?" She pulled up her phone, showed him a map with a moving red dot. "I put a tracker in Graves's shoe, and another in his belt, and another in his jacket lining." Holloway doesn't know it yet, but wherever he runs, we can follow. Reese looked at the screen. The dot was moving fast, heading toward the industrial district. He's running to a secondary location, somewhere he feels safe. Then let's not keep him waiting. They took 2 cars, Reese Clarion and 6 of her security team. They followed the tracker for 20 minutes. Through empty streets, past shuttered warehouses, into the forgotten part of the city where no one asked questions. The dot stopped moving. They parked 3 blocks away, approached on foot. The building was old. Abandoned factory, windows broken, graffiti on the walls, but lights inside. Movement, Holloway's hideout. They positioned themselves around the building, covered every exit. Then Reese walked to the front door and knocked. No answer. He knocked again. Holloway, I know you're in there. Come out and we can end this without more people dying. Silence. Then Holloway's voice, coming from inside but amplified. Speaker system. You should have stayed a janitor, Mr. Corian. Should have kept your head down. Protected your daughter by being invisible. But you had to be a hero. And now you've destroyed everything. You threatened my daughter. I was making a point. That you should walk away. That this wasn't your fight. But you didn't listen. And now we're here. So come out. Face me. Let's finish this. Oh, we'll finish this. But not the way you think. An engine roared to life. Not from the building. From behind it. Reese ran around the side, saw a garage door opening, saw the black sedan racing out, saw Holloway in the passenger seat grinning. The car accelerated, heading straight for the fence. Reese pulled his gun, aimed, fired. The bullet hit the rear tire. The car swerved, hit the fence, crashed through, kept going but slower now, limping on 3 tires. Reese ran back to their cars. Get in. He's running. They chased, through streets, through red lights, through the city that was just waking up to morning. The sedan was dying, smoke from the engine, sparks from the rim grinding asphalt. It turned into a parking structure, climbed 3 levels, stopped. Reese and the team surrounded it, weapons raised. The driver's door opened. A man stumbled out, hands raised, not Holloway, just some hired gun. Where is he? The man pointed up. Reese looked, saw Holloway climbing the outside of the parking structure, scaling the concrete support beams like he'd done it before. He's going for the roof. Reese holstered his weapon, started climbing. 7 stories, his arms burned, his fingers ached, but he pushed, pulled himself up, beam by beam, floor by floor. He reached the roof just as Holloway did. They stood on opposite sides, wind whipping around them. The city spread out below, morning sun just starting to break the horizon. This is over, Holloway. You've lost. Your team is gone. Your plan failed. Surrender. Holloway laughed, reached into his jacket. Reese tensed, reached for his weapon, but Holloway pulled out a phone. Just a phone. You think this is over? This was never about money, Corian. It was never even about Shaw. It was about proving a point. That people like her people with power, they're not untouchable. That someone like me, someone she threw away like garbage, could bring her entire empire down. You didn't bring down anything. You're just a bitter man who couldn't accept consequences. Consequences. She ruined my life. One accusation. One complaint. And suddenly I'm unemployable. Unhireable. My wife left me. My kids won't speak to me. I lost everything because she decided I was inappropriate. You were inappropriate. You harassed 3 different assistants. There were complaints. Documentation. You did this to yourself. She could have given me a second chance. She could have. She didn't owe you anything, and you definitely didn't have the right to try to kill her. Holloway's face twisted. Then I guess we're at an impasse. He raised the phone. This is connected to charges throughout that warehouse. The one where Shaw is still standing. The one where your precious CEO thinks she's won. I press this button, the whole building comes down. Everyone inside dies, including her. Reese's heart stopped. You're bluffing. Am I? You want to test that theory? If you blow that building, you die too. We're surrounded. There's no escape. I don't care about escaping. I care about winning. And if I can't have my life back, she doesn't get to keep hers. His thumb moved toward the button. Reese moved faster. He crossed the roof in 4 strides, grabbed Holloway's wrist, twisted. The phone clattered away across the concrete. They grappled. Holloway was smaller, but desperate. He fought like a cornered animal, scratching, biting, doing anything to survive. Reese headbutted him, once, twice. Holloway's nose broke. Blood sprayed. Reese spun him around, arm around his throat, chokehold, professional, controlled. It's over. Holloway thrashed, gasped. His face turned red, then purple. Stop, please. I can't breathe. Reese could end it. Right here. Squeeze a little harder. Hold a little longer. Make sure Holloway never threatened anyone again. It would be so easy. So justified. But then he heard Lara's voice in his head. 7 years old. Asking if he was okay. Telling him it was okay to talk about hard things. He heard Sarah's voice. Asking him to be better. To choose better. He released the pressure. Just enough to let Holloway breathe. Not enough to let him escape. Behind him, the roof access door burst open. Clarion's security team flooded out. They surrounded them. Weapons raised. We've got him, Mr. Corian. Reese let go. Holloway collapsed to the concrete, gasping, defeated. They zip-tied his hands, pulled him to his feet. Clarion appeared in the doorway, saw Holloway, saw Reese, saw that it was over. Is there really a bomb? Reese picked up the phone, looked at it. It wasn't even on. Bluff. He was bluffing. Clarion walked to Holloway, looked him in the eyes. You tried to destroy everything my father built, everything I've worked for, and for what pride, revenge? Holloway spit blood at her feet. For justice. Justice, you harassed people, abused your power, and when you faced consequences, you became a terrorist. That's not justice. That's ego. I hope you choke on your empire. My empire is fine. Yours never existed. She turned to her security team. Take him to the police, federal authorities. I want every charge possible filed against him. Attempted murder, conspiracy, terrorism, everything. They dragged him away. Holloway shouted threats the whole way down. Empty words from a broken man. Reese and Clarion stood on the roof. Alone. The sun fully up now. The city waking up below them. Thank you, she said quietly, for not killing him. You saw that. I saw you hesitate. Saw you choose to be better. That's not easy, especially when every instinct says otherwise. Sarah would have wanted me to be better. Sarah would be proud of you. They stood there, silent, exhausted, alive. What happens now? Reese asked. Now we testify. We put Holloway, Graves, and Marcus in prison for the rest of their lives. We clean up the company. We move forward. And me, you keep your promise. You take Lara and disappear. New names, new lives. I'll handle everything. Money, documents, whatever you need. Thank you. Reese. He looked at her. When this is all over, when you're settled somewhere safe, call me. Let me know you're okay. Let me know Lara's okay. I'll worry if I don't hear from you. You'll worry about a janitor. I'll worry about the man who saved my life 3 times. There's a difference. He smiled. First real smile in days. I'll call. They walked back down together, back to the world, back to the aftermath. But in Reese's pocket, his phone buzzed. Text from Victoria. Lara wants to know when her superhero daddy is coming home. He texted back. Soon, baby girl. Very soon. 2 weeks later, Reese stood at Sarah's grave for the first time in 6 months. The grass was overgrown. Someone had left flowers. Wilted now, probably Mrs. Chen. She visited every month like clockwork. He knelt down, brushed dead leaves from the headstone. "Hey," he said quietly. "Sorry it's been so long. Things got complicated." The wind moved through the trees. He pretended it was her answer. "I broke my promise. The one about staying invisible. About being nobody. I tried, Sarah. I really tried. But someone threatened Lara, and I couldn't just walk away." He traced her name carved in marble. Sarah Louise Corian, beloved wife and mother. "I became the man I used to be. The fighter. The one who hurts people to protect people. And I'm not sorry. I'd do it again. For Lara. For anyone who needed help. But I think you knew that. I think you always knew I couldn't stay buried forever." Behind him, footsteps on grass. He didn't turn around, knew who it was. Clarion stood beside him. She held flowers. Fresh ones. White roses. "Victoria told me where you'd be. I needed to talk to her, to Sarah. Do you mind if I stay? It's a free country." Clarion knelt beside him, placed the roses against the headstone. "I never met your wife, but I've heard stories. From you. From Victoria. From people who knew her. She sounds like she was extraordinary. She was. She saw good in me when I couldn't see it in myself. She loved me enough to make me want to be better. That's a rare gift." "Yeah." They knelt there in silence. The wind picked up. Clouds moved overhead. It smelled like rain. "The trial starts next week," Clarion said. "Prosecutors say it's a slam dunk. Holloway, Graves, Marcus, all three going away for decades, maybe life. Good. They want you to testify. Tell the jury what happened, what they threatened. I will, whatever it takes to put them away." "Reese." "Yeah. After the trial, what are you going to do?" "What we agreed. Take Lara, disappear, start over somewhere new." "Is that what you want?" "It's what's safest for her." "I didn't ask what's safest. I asked what you want." He looked at her. Really looked. She'd changed in 2 weeks. Less corporate. More human. Her hair was down. No makeup, jeans and a sweater. She looked younger, softer. "What I want doesn't matter." "It matters to me." "Why?" "Because I've gotten used to having you around. Used to feeling safe. Used to having someone I can trust completely. And I don't want to lose that." "Clarion." "I know. You made a promise. You're going to disappear. Be nobody again. But before you do, I need to tell you something." She stood. He stood too. "I'm falling for you, Reese. I tried not to. Tried to keep it professional. Keep it business. But I can't stop thinking about you. About Lara. About what it would be like if you stayed. I have a daughter. I know. She's my whole world. I know that too. And you're a CEO. You have board meetings, corporate dinners, a life that doesn't have room for a single dad and a 7-year-old. Then I'll make room. I'll change my life. Because Reese, for the first time in years, I feel alive. I feel like I matter to someone beyond what I can provide or what I can build. And I think you feel it too." He wanted to deny it. Wanted to say she was wrong, but he couldn't. Because she wasn't wrong. "Sarah's only been gone 2 years. I'm not asking you to forget her. I'm not asking you to replace her. I'm asking you to let yourself be happy again. To let someone care about you. To stop punishing yourself for surviving when she didn't." The words hit like hammers, each one breaking through walls he'd built to keep the pain inside. "I don't know how to do this." "Neither do I, but maybe we figure it out together." "What about Lara?" "She's still grieving her mother. She's not ready for someone new." Then we ask her. We don't assume. We let her decide if she's ready to open her heart again. And if she says no, then we wait. However long it takes. Because Reese, you're worth waiting for. He looked back at Sarah's grave. Felt like he was asking permission. Felt like he was betraying her memory. But then he heard Laura's voice, 7¾ years old, wise beyond her years. Daddy, it's okay if you like someone else. Mama told me love doesn't run out. He turned back to Clarion. I need to talk to Laura first. If she's not okay with this, we stop. We go back to being professional. We never speak of it again. I understand. And if she is okay with it, we take it slow. No rushing, no pressure. We figure this out day by day. I can do slow. Can you? You're used to moving fast, making decisions, getting what you want. I'm also used to building things that last, and things that last take time. He almost smiled. When did you get so wise? Around the time a janitor saved my life and taught me what real courage looks like. That evening, Reese drove to Vermont. 6 hours through rain and darkness. He arrived at Victoria's sister's house at midnight. Laura was asleep upstairs. Victoria met him at the door. She's missed you, asked about you every day. How is she? Good. Happy. She doesn't know what happened. Thinks you were finishing work, being a superhero. I need to talk to her. About what? About moving forward. About what comes next. Victoria studied him. You're not disappearing, are you? I don't know yet. Depends on what Laura wants. What do you want? I want her to be happy, safe, loved. Everything else is secondary. That's not what I asked. He sighed, ran a hand through his hair. I want to stop running. I want to build something, with someone who makes me feel like I'm not alone in this. But I can't do that if it hurts Laura. Then ask her. Kids are more resilient than you think. And Laura's the most resilient kid I've ever met. He went upstairs. Laura's room was small. Pink walls, stuffed animals everywhere. She was curled up with Mr. Hopscotch, breathing softly. He sat on the edge of the bed. Laura. She stirred, opened her eyes, saw him and smiled. Daddy? She threw her arms around him. He held her close, felt the weight of 2 weeks apart dissolve. I missed you, baby girl. I missed you more. Did you finish being a superhero? Yeah, the bad guys are caught. Everyone's safe. Did you win? We won. Good. Superheroes always win. He pulled back, looked at her. Laura, I need to talk to you about something important. Grown-up stuff. But I need you to be honest with me. Okay. Okay. How do you feel about Ms. Shaw? Laura's face lit up. I like her. She's nice. And she has pretty hair. And she talks to me like I'm a real person, not just a kid. What if I told you Ms. Shaw wants to spend more time with us? Like, a lot more time. Would that be okay? Laura tilted her head, thinking, processing. Do you like her, Daddy? I think I do. But I don't want to like her if it makes you uncomfortable. Because of Mama. Yeah. Laura was quiet for a moment. Then she picked up Mr. Hopscotch, hugged him. Mama told me something before she went to heaven. She said that when she was gone, you'd be sad for a while. That's normal. But she said eventually you'd meet someone who made you smile again. And that I should be happy for you, because Daddy deserves to be happy too. Reese's throat tightened. She said lots of things. She wanted to make sure I knew everything important. And she said the most important thing was that love doesn't end. It just changes shape. So even if you love someone new, it doesn't mean you stopped loving her. When did you get so smart? I'm 7¾ That's practically 8. He laughed, pulled her close. So you'd be okay if Ms. Shaw became part of our family. Is she going to be my new mom? No one's going to replace your mom. But she could be someone who loves you. Someone who takes care of you. Someone who's there for both of us. Like a bonus mom. Yeah, like a bonus mom. Lara thought about this, then nodded. Okay, but she has to promise to like Mr. Hopscotch. That's the rule. I think she can handle that. And she has to know that purple is the best color. No arguments. I'll make sure she knows. And Daddy? Yeah. You have to promise to still read me bedtime stories, even if you're busy being in love and stuff. I promise. Every single night. Then it's okay. You can love Ms. Shaw. I'll share you. He held her until she fell back asleep. Then he went downstairs, pulled out his phone, called Clarion. She answered immediately. How did it go? She said yes, with conditions. What conditions? You have to like Mr. Hopscotch. Purple is the best color, and I still have to read her bedtime stories every night. He heard Clarion laugh. Real laughter. Joy. I can work with that. So what happens now? Now you come home. We figure this out together, one day at a time. I'll be back tomorrow. Reese. Yeah. Thank you for letting me in, for trusting me with this. Thank you for waiting. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Reese testified for 2 days, told the jury everything. The parking garage, the threats, Lara's school, Holloway's confession. Every detail mattered. Every word counted. Clarion testified too, poised, professional, but with an edge of steel that made it clear she wasn't a victim. She was a survivor. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Holloway got 40 years. Graves got 35. Marcus got 25. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Cameras flashing, questions shouting. Clarion stood at the microphone, Reese beside her, Lara between them. Today justice was served. 3 men who thought they were above the law learned they were wrong. But this isn't just about punishment. It's about rebuilding, moving forward, creating something better from the ashes of what was destroyed. A reporter shouted a question. Ms. Shaw, rumors say you're involved with your head of security. Is that true? Clarion looked at Reese. He nodded slightly. Yes. Reese Corian is more than my head of security. He's someone I deeply care about. Someone who taught me what real courage looks like, and someone who, along with his incredible daughter, has become family to me. More questions, louder now, but Clarion just smiled. That's all I have to say. Thank you. They walked away, through the crowd, into the waiting car. Lara looked up at them. Are we famous now? For a little while, Clarion said. But fame fades. Family doesn't. 3 months later, spring came to the city. Trees bloomed. Birds sang. The world felt new again. Reese stood at Sarah's grave again. But this time he wasn't alone. Clarion stood beside him. Lara held both their hands. We're doing it today, he said to the headstone. The wedding. Small ceremony. Just family. At Clarion's estate. I wanted you to know. Wanted to ask if it's okay. The wind moved through the trees. Lara spoke up. Mama, I promise to still talk to you every day, and I promise Daddy will still love you forever. But we're making our family bigger now. And I think you'd like that. You always said love was meant to be shared. Clarion placed flowers, white roses, the same kind she'd brought months ago. I promise to take care of them, Sarah, to protect them, to love them the way they deserve. I know I can never replace you, but I hope I can honor what you built by helping it grow. They stood there for a long moment. Then Lara tugged on Reese's hand. Come on, Daddy, we have a wedding to get to, and you can't be late to your own wedding. She's right, Clarion said. That would be bad form. They walked back to the car. Reese looked back once. The sun broke through clouds. Light fell on Sarah's grave like a blessing. Thank you, he thought, for loving me, for teaching me, for giving me Lara. I'll never forget you. But I'm ready to live again. The wedding was at sunset, in Clarion's family estate. Gardens filled with flowers. Lights strung through trees. A small group gathered. Victoria, Kenji, Mrs. Chen, a few close friends, family. No cameras, no press, just hearts mending. Lara was the flower girl. Purple dress, purple ribbons in her hair. She took her job very seriously, scattered petals with precision. When Reese and Clarion exchanged vows, Lara stood between them. "I promise to love you," Clarion said, "in the loud moments and the quiet ones. When you're strong and when you need strength. I promise to be there for you and for Lara, to build something beautiful with you, to choose us every day." Reese's voice shook slightly. "I promise to trust you with my heart, to let you in, to stop hiding behind walls and instead build bridges. I promise to love you with everything I have, to protect you, to stand beside you, to be the man you believe I am." The officiant smiled. "And Lara, do you accept Clarion as part of your family?" Lara nodded solemnly. "I do. But she has to promise to like Mr. Hopscotch." Everyone laughed. Clarion knelt down to Lara's level. "I promise to love Mr. Hopscotch. And I promise to love you. And I promise that even though I'm not your mama, I'll do everything I can to make your mama proud of the woman helping to raise you." Lara hugged her, tight. "You can call me your bonus daughter, because that's what I am." "I'd be honored." They sealed the vows with a kiss. Nothing dramatic, just real, just true. As the sun set, they had dinner under the stars. Simple food, good wine, laughter. Lara told stories about school, about her friends, about the butterfly that had finally emerged from the cocoon in Miss Rodriguez's class. Mrs. Chen raised a glass. "To Sarah, who taught us all that love doesn't end, it transforms." They all drank to that. Later, when Lara was asleep inside, Reese and Clarion walked through the gardens. "Are you happy?" she asked. "Terrified. But yeah, happy." "Why terrified?" "Because I have everything now. You, Lara, a life I never thought I deserved. And I'm scared it'll be taken away." "It won't. Not if we fight for it. Not if we choose it every day." "I'm not good at this. At being vulnerable. At letting people in." "Then it's a good thing you have a lifetime to practice." He pulled her close, kissed her forehead. "Thank you for not giving up on me, for seeing past the ghost to the man underneath. Thank you for letting me, for trusting me with your heart." They stood there, under stars, under possibility, under the weight of second chances. 6 months later, on a Sunday morning, the three of them walked through a city park. Spring had turned to fall, leaves changing color, air crisp and clean. Lara ran ahead, chasing birds, laughing, her purple jacket bright against the autumn colors. Clarion leaned into Reese. "She's gotten taller." "Kids do that." "Are you happy we stayed, that we didn't disappear?" "Yeah, I am. This is better than hiding. Shaw Industries is doing well. Stock price is up. New contracts. The board actually respects me now. They always should have." "And you? How's the security director position treating you?" "It's good. Different from mopping floors, but good." "Do you miss being invisible?" "Sometimes. But then Lara looks at me like I hung the moon, and you look at me like I'm home, and I realize being somebody is better than being nobody, even if it's scary." Lara ran back to them, breathless, excited. "Daddy Clarion, look what I found." She held out her hand. A perfectly intact butterfly wing, orange and black. Beautiful. "The butterfly must have finished its journey," Clarion said. "Miss Rodriguez says butterflies don't live very long, but they make the most of the time they have. They fly, they explore, they don't hide." Reese knelt beside her. "That's a good lesson." "I know. That's why I'm applying it. She looked at both of them. We're like butterflies. We changed. We were one thing. Then something hard happened. But instead of staying stuck, we changed into something better. Something that can fly. Clarion's eyes filled with tears. When did you get so wise? I'm 8 now. That's practically 9. They walked together. 3 people who'd survived loss. Who'd faced danger. Who'd chosen to open their hearts despite the risk. At the edge of the park, Reese stopped, looked back at where they'd come from. Thought about the janitor who'd heard a scream in a parking garage. The man who'd fought because he couldn't walk away. The father who'd risked everything to keep his daughter safe. That man was still inside him, would always be inside him. But now, he was more than that. He was a husband, a father, a protector who didn't have to hide anymore. He was somebody who chose to be better. Every day, in every way. Clarion took his hand. Lara took the other. Come on, Lara said. Let's go home. Home. Not an apartment, not a hiding place, but a real home. With real love. With real family. They walked together into the autumn afternoon. 3 hearts that had been broken. 3 souls that had found each other. 3 lives woven together into something stronger than any of them could be alone. The ghost was finally at rest. The janitor had hung up his mop. The broken man had learned to heal, and in his place stood Reese Corian. Husband, father, protector, man, whole at last. He looked down at Lara, at her gap-toothed smile, at the joy in her eyes. I love you, baby girl. I love you infinity plus 1 daddy. That's still impossible. Doesn't make it less true. And for the first time in 3 years, Reese laughed. Real laughter, deep and true and full of hope. Because impossible things happened every day. He'd lived through them, survived them, thrived because of them. The CEO who'd parked her Aston Martin outside a janitor's door. The single father who'd saved her life and found his own in the process. The little girl who'd taught them both that love doesn't run out. It just changes shape. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, it transforms into something more beautiful than anything you could have imagined. They walked home together as the sun set over the city. A family born from ashes, forged in fire, held together by love. And that was enough. More than enough. That was everything.